Hey everybody, this is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we are driving the 2023 Genesis G90. And sadly, I'm without Charlie today for the intro, but don't you worry, he will be here for the outro. He's going to spend a couple of days in this car as well. But first, you will be getting my raw first impressions. Of course, we are not in our usual spot. I have driven this G90 a few miles, so I have a couple of first impressions that will be a little bit filtered, but for the most part, we'll be in this together. So right off the bat, I want to say I am a huge fan of these big flagship sedans. We just had the new BMW 7 Series, and that was excellent. And I've really been looking forward to driving this Genesis G90 ever since I saw the first pictures of this new generation. I actually never drove the previous generation, though I really wanted to for many years, but it's okay because we're starting fresh with this new design. And I've got to say, it's very stately. It's very kind of old money looking, and I really appreciate that about this car. They've gone above and beyond, but they haven't gone crazy with the styling. It almost looks like that Aston Martin Lagonda thing that they tried to bring back a few years back, but this looks much better. So I'm gonna kind of take the week to soak in the design here, but it looks quite nice in the gray. These wheels are absolutely massive. They're 21s. Curious to see how that affects NVH. Anyways, let's hop in this thing. Actually, first let's check out the trunk. What am I on about? We have a series here. And that's probably the trunk button. Yep, it is. Okay, first look into the trunk here. It's kind of a narrow trunk, but it's got a wide opening. What do we have under here? Let's disconnect our little netting. Come on, there we go. Okay. Do we have a spare? What do we think? I'm going to say probably no spare. No spare, because we have an hybrid battery, I think, or something. Yeah, this is a mild hybrid. So let's take a second actually now to segue into what's under the hood of this Genesis G90, which you all probably already saw on the intro graphic. But anyways, under the hood we have a 3.5 liter turbocharged V6, and this one's a mild hybrid, and it has an E-supercharger, which is something I'm quite unfamiliar with. And we'll let Charlie explain how that works on the outro, but combined power output is about 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, somewhere around there. So it feels decently quick. I'm going to hop in and start it up, and we'll check out the back seat. So this has power doors, but I can't work out how to get them to open power. However, when you get in, there's a button over here to close them. So I'm not sure how you get it to open for you, but I'll look into that as well and see if there is a way to do that. Anyways, I'm going to start this up and immediately get out and go to the back seat to show you all that first. I also can't work out how, once you're out of the car, to close the door. Maybe you hit this button here. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. Same with the back. You can hit this button to close the door for you. Power doors are something that's often overlooked and not included, but I think at this point now in 2023, it's something you have to have in this segment, and we're seeing that from BMW and now Genesis as well. I don't believe, well, the last S-Class we have, I don't think it had them, but I wouldn't be surprised if now they were something that you could get. So the back seat is something that's going to be quite important in a car like the G90, because often these cars are bought by people who are just simply driven around and never even sit in this seat up here. So we can see back here we have some power sunshades that extend to that quarter window as well. That's quite nice. Okay, cool. We've got memory settings for our rear seats. We have, it looks like we have a rest setting as well, which should put that passenger seat forwards. And we'll wait till Charlie's back here to show that off, kind of how we did in our 7 Series video. Ooh, what do we have here? Come on, thank you. Okay, so we pull down the center and we have our own little knob. Oh, it's a volume knob for the radio. Check that out. We won't turn that up because we have copyrighted music on the radio right now. And these are our seat controls. They pop down out of the center. Okay then, very nice. We also have some HVAC controls here in the middle. We can control our shades here. Oh, can we do... Oh, I can do that from here, nice. Okay, so you can control mostly everything, it looks like, from this center. We've got our rear sunshade as well. Ooh, and I'm being distracted. What do we think's in here? Oh, it's just to pass through to pass through to the trunk. Okay, nice. We're going to open that back up. We've also got controls for our top. These are buttons to close the door once you're in, but you can also use this, which I do like. You can't do that on the BMW. There's only one way to do it, but on this car, you've got two buttons. So that's pretty neat. Oh, you can adjust. Okay, that's for your climate. That's for your overhead lights. You can turn those on with that. Okay, so there are a lot of things to take in back here. In a car like this, of course, there are many things, but I'm pretty pleased, honestly, with the level of controls and things you can change from the back seat. This is fun, all of these little icons. The climate is like the inside of a blend door, like the fan that would actually sit behind the dash. You've got seat controls. Massage is a feather, it looks like. And shades is like blinds in a house. Lights is a lamp in a house. I see, so they are trying to make this kind of like a stately home because all of the icons are house related. So that makes sense. Okay, we're going to, well, you know what? I'm just going to leave this down because it might as well just sit down. Okay, let's go up to the front of the G90 and take this for a short drive, and then we'll wrap this video up with our full impressions after we have spent the week with the G90. So let's go ahead, hop in. I wonder if maybe, so that button does nothing. Okay, curious to figure out how all of this works. And you also don't have to hold that, you just have to press it. Okay, so up front we've got a pretty hefty steering wheel. Of course it is power adjust, as you would expect in a car like this, which cost exactly $100,000. Infotainment screen, which does not have wireless CarPlay, so that's a little bit disappointing. I don't know why Hyundai and Genesis are still not on the wireless CarPlay. It's very strange that in a $100,000 car you still have to plug your phone in for phone projection, but we'll gloss over that for now. There's the glove box. We've got our climate control screen, pretty consistent with what we have been seeing in late model Genesi, whatever you want to say. Haptic touch screen there, but you've also got a fair amount of physical controls, including your controls for temperature, our nice little toggle switches, which are nice. Heated steering wheel. I don't know if this, is that maybe perfume? I think it is. We're going to put that on full and see what happens. We've got cup holders there, split folding center console, wireless charger right here, and your phone sits down in there nicely. We've got our infotainment dial and our shifter dial right next to each other, so don't mess those up. Parking cameras. Looks quite nice, though I think there is an insect on one of the cameras. I see something crawling around over there. Drive mode selector for only 3 drive modes. That's great. Eco, Comfort, and Sport. And you can hold for chauffeur. What is that? Drive mode chauffeur. It does not appear to have changed anything. Okay, so we're going to go back into comfort mode. Heated and cooled seats. It's kind of a cool little toggle there for those as well. Why don't we take this thing out on the road and see what it's like to drive. The shifter vibrates when you put it into reverse. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Here. A little bit of a vibration in reverse. I've never driven a car that does that. Steering is super light. This is the lightest steering I've ever felt in a Genesis. I always thought the steering in the G80 and the GV70 and even the GV80 was too heavy, but this is quite a nice level of lightness here in the G90. And we have rear wheel steering, which means it's quite agile as well, and you can maneuver this thing very easily. And I'm not sure if you all caught that back there when I was turning out, or if you're even able to tell with our audio setup, but the turn signal chime, or the little click that you get from the turn signal, comes out of the headrest, which is another thing that I've never experienced in any other car. Let's put the signal on again and see if you can hear that. So if you all are wearing headphones right now, you should be hearing that out of your right ear. Connected to our Turbo 3.5, we have an 8-speed automatic, power sent to all 4 wheels, and the 8-speed automatic does its job nicely. It shifts super smooth, and it is proper quiet in here. This is a particularly loud road surface, and you can hear it a little bit, but if you watch videos other times, other cars that we've driven on this road, they are much louder. So NVH, it's looking quite nice. The only time you do hear a little bit is when you're going over big bumps, but with 21-inch wheels, that's kind of to be expected. But I'm pretty impressed with how quiet this car is. Yeah, not bad at all. Waiting to smell some perfume. I'd imagine that's what that is. Maybe it's out because this Genesis G90 has done 9,400 miles, which, as we know, is equivalent to 94,000 journalist miles. So that's something else to consider this week, just to see how well this car has held up to 9,400 miles of journalists driving it. And honestly, there aren't really any creaks or rattles in here that I've been able to find thus far. I'm also a big fan of this trim. Look at that. It's kind of a unique look there. Pretty sweet looking. Otherwise though, Alcantara headliner. Okay, before I let you go here for the first part of the video, we're going to do an acceleration and see what this 409 horsepower feels like. Okay, I'm just going to roll into it. There's 60, pretty dang quick there. Look at that, there's a Kia EV6. Korea gang, what's up? Okay, well, we're gonna be spending the week with this Genesis G90, taking in all of the sights, sounds, and potentially even scents. And Charlie and I will be back with you here shortly to let you know what it was like to live with the 23 Genesis G90. Wrapping up our week with the new Genesis G90, and I have Charlie with me now for the wrap, and he was able to spend just about 2 days with it, so.
Yeah, didn't get to drive it much, admittedly. I thought I got it from you on Saturday, hoping I get to drive it a little bit more, and chaos ensued, so
that's
it didn't
right.
really happen.
Yeah.
But I quite like this.
I like it quite a bit too.
Yeah. Can you explain to me, though, how you're supposed to use the power doors when you open them?
You don't. You push it open.
I don't.
It's
like
only a
that.
power closing door.
I don't like the feel.
Yeah.
Like they could have done that a little better, where if you if you do this, it should
just
present
open
the door to you.
No, it doesn't. Oh, and it's just shut itself.
Well, that kind of did that, but
well, yeah.
But it doesn't.
Doesn't. Yeah, you got to do it the rest of the way.
Did you know you can close the doors with the key?
No, but I know you can close the door like this and almost have your head get chopped off.
That is true.
Yeah.
Or you can also do.
Or you can also close it with the.
If you walk away, you can just hold the lock button.
Oh, that's very nice. Oh, and it puts the shades up. Why does it do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's just hiding mode. And then, like many key cars,
This
if
is-
you hold the unlock, it opens like this.
This is very on brand for Genesis because all of the Korean manufacturers give you like 4 different ways to do everything.
Yes, that's a good point. Actually.
Yeah. Shall we go
Did
for?
you do the whole thing? earlier?
I think I did.
The back seats are nice.
The back seats are quite nice. Let's just sit back here for a second. Just because I don't remember if I filmed this yet. I think I did. Do you know what I like? And actually, this is not going to work for us right now because
Oh, the car's
the car is not on. But all of the icons on like the actual categories are like house themed.
Oh, well here. You see a little animation. But many reviews don't show that from the back seat.
That's true. Well, we give back seat and passenger seat impressions. So if you go here, as you can see, shades are house shades, lights are a lamp.
And look, climate is a staircase.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's a fan.
Yeah. Well, it's like inside of a fan.
Yeah, that's it. It's like a jet, actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
So.
Very keen.
And then massage is a feather. on a brick. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, those are very nice visuals. They're also nice fonts and nice buttons.
So you got this menu to do this.
Yeah.
But then you can also get to all of the menus on the side and do the exact same thing that it would do here.
Yes.
I like also that you can change the color of the dome lights from cool to normal to warm.
Wow. That's very Korean.
So if you turn them on, it's kind of hard to tell right now.
Are we
But
on cool right
you can
now?
you can see this. We're on warm, okay?
Okay.
This is normal.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I ran them
like
on.
that.
I ran them on cool.
Yeah, I would pick more of a warm.
Well, it looks better on camera when it's for the night drive.
Yeah, that's fair.
What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. This rattles
Yeah.
very, very badly.
I thought maybe by opening it would stop.
I thought so too, but it didn't change anything. So
I would like to just rip it out. Are you sure it's not this mechanism rattling?
it
Like
could
if
be
you
this.
close that?
It's something over here. So it could be
a
the edge of a
even.
speaker. I figure it's probably this vanity mirror.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's unfortunate because
it is quite unfortunate.
This is going to be part of a theme that I echo as we're driving. So much easier to use than the 7 Series.
Yes, and it doesn't have all of the irritating modes
Yeah.
that you can't then get back out of.
Right, it just works.
Yeah.
And the 7 Series was more impressive, obviously, with its big old screen and stuff.
Yeah.
But this, I think, actually might have a better lounge seat. Did you try lounging?
Yes.
Yeah, it was quite good.
It's
wasn't
less dramatic, which means it might actually be more comfortable.
it? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good pillows.
And good pillows.
That could be your thumbnail text if you really wanted it to be.
Good pillows.
Good pillows. Yeah, no, this is great back here. I could definitely be chauffeured, which is
Oh,
appropriate
you have. I'm gonna
because
turn this
there
down.
is a chauffeur mode.
Yes,
as
there
I'm
is.
sure you're talking
I
about.
did.
Cool.
Yeah. I think.
Still.
Charlie, I filmed 4 videos on this car, and I don't remember like what
Yeah.
what I said in what video. So, anyways, we'll have Charles drive since he hasn't driven yet. Well, he has driven, just not on camera.
Not for you all. I do kind of wish it had the Tesla.
Is this an Alyssa spec?
No. The Tesla
an
feature
Emily
where you can
spec?
just put your foot on the brake and have it close the door. That would be
That is, well, the 7
BMW
Series
did
did
that
that
too,
too,
right? Yeah.
yeah, so I do wish that it did that. The mild hybrid is nice. Don't have to hear a starter ever.
Yep. I like how when you put it into reverse, it buzzes, it vibrates.
Yes, well, the first day that I got this car, I was in a parking lot, and I was wanting to adjust something on the infotainment, and I spun the shifter, but nothing happened. The car was like, it like freaked out, and it was like, come to a complete stop if you'd like to
Sure.
go into reverse, because I was like rolling forwards in drive.
They are a bit switched.
So yeah, they're right next to each other. But I agree with you that it's nice that you get some sort of feedback when you go into reverse, as opposed to having it just free spin, and it locks into place, which is nice.
New wheel for Genesis.
Nice 2-spoke.
Don't know if I care for the design, but it's fine.
It's a strange design.
It's sort of,
the way
like
this.
Sort of like a clamshell, and then there's like a pearl sitting in the middle, perhaps.
Are you a being hot enthusiast?
Yeah. You know me. Always got that
So
heat
hot
going.
in here.
Ooh, it's our friend Cap's Garage.
I'm gonna turn on my air-conditioned seat.
Greetings. Having fun?
Yeah.
You got a nice trim.
Heck yeah.
I thought so too.
I had to get it yesterday or Friday. I'll go there and look like a scrub.
Cool. We'll see you back at the shop.
Yeah.
I like a lot of these new design things, like these. This does it for me.
Yes. So I actually used this car to drive Dane to the airport.
Ooh,
Dane,
good
Dane
airport
and his girlfriend, they moved
Did
out.
you chauffeur them in the rear?
Well, they were both going to sit back there,
Okay.
but Dane ended up sitting in the front. But it was a perfect airport car. I held the drive mode button and put myself into chauffeur mode,
Certainly.
and just smoothed everything out. It was at like 5:30 in the morning, so none of us were in the mood to do any spirited driving, so we just went very smoothly.
I liked how even when I wasn't in chauffeur mode a minute ago there, I had to get on the throttle aggressively to get out into traffic, and you never, I'm sure you weren't even perturbed a little bit because it maps the throttle so well that even if you push it down aggressively, it doesn't,
Yes.
it progressively ramps up the power.
Yes, which it could explain why I've been giving myself whiplash every time I take off from the Nissan Versa.
That could be it. Or it could just be that the Nissan Versa doesn't have great transmission throttle.
That's a
But it's nice of you to blame the Genesis and
yeah.
not just
Well,
Nissan.
I'm trying to be polite today. What do you think of the forged carbon?
I was just gonna say I quite like that.
I
Is
like
that
the
what they call
forged
it?
carbon.
Forged
Yes,
carbon?
I do.
And not just plastic.
Well, I think it's forged carbon.
Is it? I like the little design elements in
think.
it too.
Oh yeah, the little silver. Yeah.
Can
that's
we
nice.
point out, and perhaps you started your entire review with this, this is the car that Lincoln should have built when the Continental came out?
Yes. Well, what I was trying to say, and I don't know if I did a very good job getting my point across, is this car kind of tailors to a little bit of a separate market than the 7 Series and the S-Class in the way that it's like old money vibes, where it's kind of like someone who's coming from like a 1986 Bentley Turbo R might want to pull up in one of these.
Yeah. I think this looks better than both the 7 Series and the S-Class. I like the way it drives better than the 7 Series. S-Class is pretty close, because S-Class is pretty floaty as well.
Yeah.
But they did such a good job at the throttle tuning and the suspension, the
And
way
the
it
steering.
floats around,
The
and the
steering's
steering
great.
is so light. Quick, sport mode.
That was
That's
eco.
eco. Also, you can really hustle this.
Oh, it's quick.
I'm sure you noticed, but
409 horsepower.
It's quick, but it rotates really well. I thought it had rear wheel steering.
It does.
Oh, it does. Okay,
Yeah.
but it doesn't do it to stop, I suppose. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And you can fully disable stability and traction control if you so choose.
Yeah. You really notice the rear wheel steering when you're in a parking lot and you do some quick turns, because
Okay.
it's incredible how quick this thing steers. You can like steer it, it turns on a dime. It's unbelievable. You could hurt your hand.
I did.
What
It
happened?
was moving that transmission around on my own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll have to cut this out because
Okay.
it's boring. I don't know, you can keep it in. I don't care.
Anyway, keep it in.
This fine fellow came to pick it up
Sure.
in a twin exhaust stack, 7.3, no tailgate or anything. And Kiefer and I were there, and we are going to help him lift it up into the the lifted bed of his truck.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I can lift it," and we're like, "No, you cannot. We're not." It's a scrawny kid comes, and he was just gonna like dry heave this Ford.
Was he like my
F-250, yeah, transmission into the back of this truck, and we're like, "No, we're not letting you do that." So we all three lifted it up. 45 miles per hour, SUV speed. A little bit of impact harshness, but other than that, the way it floats.
It's got air suspension, so.
Yeah, it does such a great job. As the primary ride does a huge float, and then it softens everything out after one big whoosh.
There's an animation on those needles.
Yeah, it's like sizzling.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's on fire.
I forgot we're still in sport mode yet. It was still riding well.
All of the drive modes kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can just pick what color you want your gauge cluster to be, and
Right. Also, I like how you can just click this button and have a different gauge cluster, slightly.
I like this cluster.
Okay. I like them both. This is a little bit more traditional. This is a little bit
I
more.
like that one.
Yeah.
You don't really need an RPM gauge in this car.
Suppose
I don't
we
think
need
I
a
ever
thumb.
used the paddle shifters.
That's
Oh yeah, we
fine.
should get a thumb. Oh, I don't have my phone. We'll use your phone.
Okay.
And then text it to me.
Okay.
Very un-Korean of it to stop dinging.
Yes. Can we point out the blinkers and everything come from the
Yeah.
headrest?
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Strange.
like that at first. However, I realized its purpose. The passengers don't have to hear it. Because you probably barely heard back there when it dinged at me for putting it in park.
Yeah,
And
and
when I put the
also
blinker on, you probably barely hear that.
I can hear it a little, but it's very quiet. You also, if you're in CarPlay and you're running Waze,
Mhm.
and Jeeves wants to tell you something, it comes through the
right.
headrest.
That's pretty nice. Because,
Yeah.
again, thinking of the backseat passengers, if you
Yeah.
have,
More serene.
Mr. Korea back there, you
Sure.
wouldn't want him to be hearing all of that.
Yes,
He's got
exactly.
bigger things to do. Also, tons of physical controls right here for the seats. If you don't want to dig into the climate.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. And
Three
memories.
memory settings for driver and passenger.
Yeah.
And if you click the pass button over there,
Yeah,
you
I
can
can-
use your seat controls to control my seat.
Yeah, I could bury
It's
your
kind
knees
of cool.
if I wanted.
You could.
Would be counterproductive because I'm about to get over there.
Yes. Do you like the boom, boom, boom?
Yeah, good sounds. Not quite Lincoln level of Detroit Symphony Orchestra sounds, but it's
That's
good.
okay. You don't need the entire Detroit Symphony Orchestra in the doors and the ceiling of the car. Actually,
So
gonna
I'm
use
just a
this.
little bummed that you don't get to see the rear wheel steering when the car's static.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it didn't have it.
Well, yeah, you do. You can see it. It's just not super dramatic.
Yeah, I guess. If you open the door very slowly, it kind of feels like it's doing it for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just not. That's one place we always give Genesis things they can improve upon
That's the
because
one
we want
thing.
them to succeed. And yeah, making the doors open.
We did tell Genesis they need lighter steering, and they listened to
yeah,
us.
they did. They retrofitted
Just
model.
this car with lighter steering.
Right. Well, because this has 10,000 miles on it, or 100,000 journalist miles,
Yeah.
and it has been in the fleet for longer than.
Do you feel the rear wheel steer?
Yes, I do feel it kind of yanking around.
I mean, it's just like the steering is so quick.
Yeah, they did a great job with the steering.
This is like that luxury car steering that I look for.
Yes.
You know that you have to have like this fine balance, and one of my favorites is actually the Lincoln Navigator, which is funny, but this car does that really well. It has the nice, quick but light and soft steering.
Side note: did you know how much the Ford?
Hold on.
Oh, Bronco GLS.
Hold on.
Yes.
You could.
Trying to talk over that.
Well, I want everyone to hear it because I wasn't doing it in the intro. It kind of developed over the week.
Speaking of developed over the week, was that windshield crack there?
Yes, and I have a photo of it the day it got dropped off. If they try blaming us, but it looks like it's been filled, so I don't think.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
I think I'm sure they know about it. Anyways,
Did you know the Ford Expedition starts at $57,000?
that's ridiculous. You used to be able to get a fully loaded Navigator for that.
Right. I would just take a Genesis G90.
I would take a screwdriver and remove the passenger rear vanity mirror. Or just employ a man to keep his hand on it. If you mended it.
I think so. I did try hitting it earlier.
I tried hitting it too, and I feel like it made it worse.
Look at that beautiful green Focus. Can you let it go by?
Of course. Well, he got to the roundabout before me, so.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the original owner.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Look at the shape of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably has 280,000 miles on
Yeah. Or 2,000 miles,
2,000.
depending on what sort of man he is.
it. All right.
What do
Digging
you-
into this.
Mm-hmm.
No piano black anywhere. Except for
No.
here, but that's okay because that just gets touched by fingers.
That's right. Do you like the way this smells?
I wish it were a bit more dramatic. I
See,
barely smell it.
I think they do. Well, that's because Pink Beetle, for one.
Ooh.
You know what I saw earlier? A Dune Beetle.
Those are great.
Those are very
I've driven
cool.
one of those.
Have you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, it's very. Is the fragrance in here? Because I can smell it a lot.
It's in here. Well, there's an extra in there. If you open that, there's a cartridge in that.
The great outdoors. That's excellent.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, the only time I notice it spritzing is when the doors open. I think they don't want to gag you with the smell. So when you open the doors and some scent gets out, it kind of replaces it. Because like when I would pull up to Emily's garage, get out to punch the garage code in, I'd get back in the car and I'd be like, "Ooh, that's strong," because it would. I think when the doors open, it knows to give you some more.
I am of the opinion if it's on 3, it should be like
Dousing.
suffocating you, and then you can dial it down. From
That's
there.
that's how the S Class does. The S Class is like very much suffocates.
Side note: does Emily's garage door have one of those? Dang it, Polestar.
Yeah.
Apps that you can get?
It does, but I don't have it. And
It seems
I
like
have
that'd be convenient.
I have
for
a
you.
garage door opener, but it
Right, but you
lives.
switch cars all
But
the
I
time.
switch cars all the time, so I don't want to take it in the car with me.
If you
So I just,
only had the opening on something that you
I
always
should
have
just
with
get
you
the
from
I
car
should
to
just
car.
get the app.
It would
Yeah.
be the app.
Well, she's like, "Don't you just want to get that app? It would
That
be
would
so
be
much easier." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll
What
get
if
it."
you can get it for your Apple Watch? That'd be excellent.
Oh, and then I could just and it would know when I'm. Yeah, no, that would be nice.
Anyway, I like the outside mirrors. They're
I do
a nice
too.
shape.
I'm
I don't
dying.
think there's anything I don't like about
No,
this
I'm
car.
dying to know what you thought of the sound system.
Barely got a chance to listen to it.
You didn't. Oh, you haven't filmed the rest of your video yet, so you don't even know what you're rating it.
I'm probably just gonna go off your rating,
Okay. A. Yeah.
which is a bit disappointing for a $100,000 car. But do you notice this airbag tag right here? It's like a little leather, like the thing you get on the side of your jeans or something.
That's nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know I didn't get to spend as much time in this car as I would like. Oh my goodness. But
so quick.
other than that stupid rattle, I really can't think of anything I would change in here. Well, the power doors.
I would like a different powertrain.
I didn't mind the powertrain.
I don't mind it, but I think it could be smoother.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This is as smooth as you can get with a V6, but if they put an inline 6 in here or a V8, it would be even silkier. But I don't dislike the powertrain. I just think that they could improve it.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I could see how, I mean, when you're really
It also
shooting
doesn't
for the
sound
moon-
like, I mean, not
No.
that that matters too much in a car like this, but
You're right. It's
it just sounds like a Ford F-150.
It's not outstanding.
Yeah.
But I really didn't mind it. But admittedly, I didn't drive it much.
Mm-hmm.
And it is powerful. But
It
yeah,
is.
It just doesn't sound super
Yeah,
fantastic.
it just doesn't have any real character.
Well, maybe Genesis is just figuring that everything will be electric in 10 years, so
they
why
don't
bother
care.
putting that much money into a powertrain?
Into developing a new inline six.
Well, it's a shame
Everyone
because-
else is doing inline sixes right now.
You're right. Genesis had a great 5-liter V8.
Yeah. Why did they get rid of that?
Probably emissions.
So it's the government's fault that this car doesn't have a V8.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Do you notice these speakers are only used when you're in the gimmicky, like Boston Symphony Orchestra Hall?
That's the mode I used the entire time I drove
You
the
liked
car.
that kind of echoey?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, going back to what I said at the beginning of this section, I would take this over the 7 Series.
I wouldn't.
I know the 7 Series is a more dramatic car.
Yeah.
It's a more engaging driver's car.
Yeah.
It's more impressive. But this is easier to live with.
It is, and it looks much better.
It looks so much better. Universally better. Like, I kind of like the looks of the 7 Series, but I admit that it's just polarizing.
Have you realized also how much larger the 7 Series is than this car?
Yeah.
I went to Bev Braga's going away party.
Okay.
I parked next to the exact 7 Series we had. I don't know who was driving it, but it was in the parking lot. I parked this next to it. And I've got a photo of it. I'll put it in the video.
Okay.
This looks like a smart car next to the 7 Series. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Just because of how tall
Yeah.
and wide the 7 Series is. I wish I could have this car with the driving characteristics of the 7 Series. Because I'd rather be seen in this car. I'd rather pull up in this car. But if I think I had to get in a car and actually drive it every day and like live with it, I would still pick the 760i.
The 760i is just like, you make one wrong press of a button or one wrong command,
Well, then
and
don't
the
touch
rest of your
anything.
drive is ruined.
Well, you just don't
You have
touch
to
anything.
stop, get out, park, leave, walk away, and get back in. And it's like you have to restart your phone.
Can we
driving
talk
the
about
7
something
Series.
else that's unacceptable in this car?
What?
You already know. No wireless CarPlay.
That is
It's unacceptable
That is
on a
pretty bad.
$100,000 car.
It is really bad. Genesis and
Not
Hyundai and
good.
Kia have had long enough to get their shit together, quite
Yes.
frankly, on that, and it's bad.
Yeah.
If you'd like to remedy that, check the link in the description. We have a box for you to haphazardly put in here, I suppose, and let it rattle around, just to give you wireless CarPlay.
I'm going to
when you're
bleep
not
all
out.
this because I don't get royalties from that.
If you buy one and then comment that you did, I'll give Chris $5.
Okay, I'll leave it in then.
Okay. I really do love all the physical controls. I love how easy everything is to use. And the fact that I would save money and get a longer warranty over the BMW.
It's very Charlie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I admit that. It was just so easy. It's just so easy.
Yeah, it's a nice car.
And I know if you spent more time in the 7 Series, you could customize it, every driver thing set up, and you wouldn't have to change as many things. But I feel like I'm using more of this car, whereas the 760i, I know I would never use
That's true.
8/10 of both
You
the
use
tech
everything in here. Yeah.
and the driving experience.
Yeah, this car has a good amount of tech. It's not overwhelming.
I would like to drive the 740i, which would be more comparably priced
That's the
to
inline
this.
6 car, yeah.
Yeah, and then it'd be more comparably priced, and that powertrain would still be so much smoother.
B58, yep. Okay.
So this car, with the B58 and power opening doors,
Yeah. So Genesis, take the engine. Oh. Yeah. Take the engine from BMW. Give us full power doors.
well, that's what Toyota did. So if Toyota did it, Genesis can do it
So exactly. That's why that isn't super crazy to say.
Then could Genesis just contact Toyota to get spare super engines and put them in the G90?
Oh, maybe.
Because then they wouldn't be stealing from their competitor.
That's
BMW.
true. Yeah.
See, Genesis, we're really looking out for you.
Although I think isn't Stellantis putting inline sixes in some vehicles? You can just have those off the street. So then they could just go and get those, implant that into the G90, and that would actually.
We thought it was Detroit residents doing all the theft of Stellantis products, but it's actually
the
Genesis
Koreans.
employees.
It's Genesis employees, right? Okay. All right. Well, we have gone enough off
We're gonna
topic
get a G90
in this
392.
review. G90 392. Oh dear.
God,
Okay.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it does. It's
It
very
looks so good.
stately.
So stately.
Yeah. Very, very.
I like how the taillights. You're
The
getting a little,
line, the 3/4 of the back is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's a stunning car. It's miles ahead of the last G90. It looks so much newer, so much better.
Someone
and
pulls up in this, and everyone's gonna think, "Who is in that car?"
Yes.
I need to know.
That's right. Hmm. Yeah. Did you notice that the hood is like the Z3? Like the whole, it's like the big, huge clamshell that opens.
I'm sure that's what
Can you
most
see?
people think when they see it is, that looks just like a Z3 hood.
That's right.
Not
Okay.
a Dodge Viper.
And on that bombshell.
Or a Supra.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope that you go out and buy a Genesis G90. So Genesis keeps making
Yeah, seriously.
cars in general, but also the G90 flagship. So
We don't have a Genesis GV90 yet, but they could do a
no,
bang
but
up
they'll
job of
probably
that.
make one to compete with the X7 and the
That'd be
GLS.
excellent.
The what?
V8, all the smoothness of this car
Yeah.
and the good looks in an SUV.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
But I'd rather have
Don't
this.
stop making this, Genesis.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay, well, we are definitely Paris and Nicole today from Daily Motor. And as always, we wish it had stronger perfume on.
Wow. Thought you could do better.
I'll
than
be
that.
nicer. I'll be nicer to it. What should I say? Z3 hood on
What the Lincoln Continental should have been on.
with the Lincoln Continental should have been on. 21-inch wheels, but still has an excellent ride on.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.